Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Hello and hi there. How are you, my
Good.
cool friend?
I almost forgot how to do that after episode 400 when you did the intro last week. I got a
I
little
know.
confused. I was like, wait, do we cut to Dave now?
Right. No, that was just a once a year or a once every 100 episode thing.
Yes.
We all know who's in charge here, and it's you.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Thank you again to everybody that tuned in live and sent in videos and all that good stuff. And Dr. RIP VHS, the one, the only, has already joined our live this week and says
Thank you.
sounds and looks good because that's good feedback to have since
It
I'm
is.
hearing some weird things in my headphones
Are
on the
you?
sounders.
Oh, yeah. So, and I want to alert our viewers that if it doesn't look like all my colors and everything are there, it's because I'm choosing to just do one light because it's really hot in here. And I know Elliot's looking for weather update here in the Pacific Northwest. It is currently 85 degrees in this domicile where I'm recording. And outside at my home, it is 101 degrees and it hit 105, at least
Woo.
by my little AccuLight
Yeah,
temperature. So it's a little warm outside today.
yes, a little bit of a heat wave here in the Northwest.
Yeah. Tell us
I
about this thing.
Oh, this hat?
Yeah.
This I actually purchased at an event that you and I were both at on
hmm
separate days. When you sent me a picture of my mother on the second day of the event, I knew exactly where you're at. But
Well, who doesn't submit pictures of your mom to you? You know what I'm saying?
yes,
No.
it's
So
pretty
I think
common.
I was at that booth that you got that at. I saw that.
Yes,
Very
yes, it
cool.
was the 80 days event, and there was like 70 different vendors, and a couple of them had some trucker hats. But this one, it's a leather cutout with the state of Oregon with mountains and a little Sam Squamch on there.
It's not accurate mountains, but
No, they
they're
are
there
mountains.
nonetheless.
All kind of an army green. So yes. Oh, and I do want to remind people, you guys stick around today because we are doing our all Repicks August. So during the picks of the week, we're doing something a little special for the rest of the month. So stick around for that, as you always do. I don't need to tell people to stick around.
Who doesn't stay to the end? I mean, if you're already torturing yourself by listening to the podcast, it's like you might as well just go head first
Keep
and
it going.
yeah, go right to
Yeah,
the end.
you fall asleep to it. So
Sure.
our picks of the week come to you in your dreams.
For those of you who do fall asleep to our podcast, do not listen to it while you are driving. Just
Yes,
a little pro tip.
yes. I'll get the pro tip ding on there. I did want to quickly give a little peek behind the curtain. As I mentioned many times, I will have many browser windows and tabs open, and I always have a browser window with many tabs for the show notes. Well, just before last week, with different articles, links, bonus odd takes, all that stuff, just before last week's episode, when I didn't really need that because we weren't doing a lot of news, that window was just gone out of my browser. Like if you quit and reopen, it brings it back. Something happened. And then this week, I had a bunch of stuff that I gathered last week, and a lot of those tabs, the window was still there. The bunch of tabs were gone. So
Hmm.
Brave Browser has been doing some weird things, but never you fear. I still have plenty of tech to talk about
Oh, that is
today.
good. That is good.
Yes, and we will get into our follow up. And I wanted to start off with, there it is. Start off last week, friend of the show, Mike, sent in a video talking about the UDisc app for disc golf.
Mm-hmm.
I had not played disc golf in 2 years, I think we figured out, but he was in town and I played disc golf twice last week. And the UDisc app, I cannot sing enough praises for navigating courses, disc golf courses. It used to be you just kind of had to guess, but
Yeah.
this has got the little GPS, and we were playing a pretty large course at a State Park, I think, Milo MacGyver,
Mm.
and it is a long, you're going through the woods and without the app, and then the other course we played the same. So, Mike, you were there to remind me to use the app, but also thanks for that
Well, that's
pick
cool
last
that
week.
Mike and you got to hang out.
Yes, yes,
I might,
he's up
my
near
text
Seattle,
message.
so and we don't see each other enough.
I'm wondering, did my, yeah, I don't think my text was working uh, that time when you guys were texting me to say, hey, do you want to come play disc golf with us? I think it was broken.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
with the beta and all that
Yeah, there was
stuff.
probably an error.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay. Next time.
that's
Next
next
time.
time.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about this stuff, and there's what's the CHIPS Act? The CHIPS Act from the U.S.
Is
government,
this
where
the
they're
one with
investing in all these Tostitos
the
and Fritos.
California Highway
Yes, Ponch and
Interstate
John. The Ponch
Patrol?
and John. If they would have only called it the Ponch and John Act, I would be a huge fan. But we've had a couple of these stories, and then another one I saw. TSMC, which is the largest micro or processor manufacturer in the world, delays Arizona plant, blames U.S. labor shortage, and they're saying they might have to wait till 2025.
Hmm.
So, I couldn't have seen this coming. There's not enough laborers to make microchips and processors and all that good stuff, semiconductors.
Yeah. Well, where did all the labor go?
I don't know. I don't know. They're all podcasting now.
That's probably true.
Yes. Uh, And speaking of more jobs going away and something that was badly needed, we always joke in our picks of the week of the horrible Amazon product names. Well, Amazon's reportedly testing generative AI tools for sellers,
Hmm.
including product titles and descriptions for product listings. So we might have found the one positive use case for AI, having better Amazon titles.
Yeah, I mean, you're not able to even breathe half the time when you read
No,
those.
I can't do it in one breath, getting through some of those once you get down to all the different things that it'll work with.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's crazy to think that we could have succinct, easy to read Amazon titles in the future. What can't AI do? This is
Yes, yes.
amazing.
Either that or it'll go the other way and they'll be even worse because it's AI.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
game the system and give me a title with every keyword that's necessary, and it'll be like 30 miles long.
yes, yes. Which brings us to our next piece of follow up in the AI world over just a few months. ChatGPT went from correctly answering a simple math problem 98% of the time to just 2%, a study
Wow.
finds.
Wow. This is like
Yes.
me in eighth grade.
Yes.
2% of the time. Not so for you, my math
Well,
lettered and math friend.
yes, math elite.
Yes.
But yeah, so and then a second story related ChatGPT's odds of getting code questions correct are worse than a coin flip.
Hmm. Like code like if you say give me some code that does a
Yeah,
script
write
or
me a
something.
Python script for this. And the sub headline is even better. It says, but its suggestions are so annoyingly plausible. So it makes you think, and it's so confident that it has the code that you need. But it is more than not, off, more often than not wrong. That's the sentence I was looking for.
Well, and an update on ChatGPT for myself. So I have
Okay.
used it, and I think
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned on another
Yeah, I
podcast that
think
I've
last week we briefly talked about you were
yeah,
getting some Apple script.
that's what I
Was
was
that
doing.
it?
I was using it for
Yeah.
code, and it seemed to work okay. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the 2% or whatever.
Is your computer smoking or is it sending everything to China now?
I
Who
think it
knows?
is probably.
Well, it already was,
I did
but
it on a computer at work, so I'm not too worried
yes.
about it.
Yeah, well, all week I was trying to think how are we going to top episode 400? That was such an epic episode, but then I remembered it's our favorite time of the month.
What?
Microsoft Patch Tuesday,
Oh,
August
I'm
2023
so
edition.
excited. Look at
Yes.
that.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
what
From
do we
Krebs
got
on
lined up
Security.
this month?
This month, Microsoft Corp today issued software updates to plug more than 70 security holes in its Windows operating system and related products, including multiple zero-day vulnerabilities currently being exploited in the wild.
I'm no hole expert, but 70 seems like a lot.
That is a lot of holes.
Wow, that's
Yes,
crazy.
6 of the flaws fixed today earned Microsoft's critical rating, meaning malware or miscreants could use them to install software on a vulnerable Windows system without any help from users.
Um,
Every stinking month.
I had to look up miscreants here. One who behaves badly, often by breaking rules. Okay, that makes
Yes,
sense.
yes, it does. Miscreants. But yes, it's always a good reminder. Keep things updated, not just for the security stuff, but for the well being of your technology. And I'm going to give you, before we move on, a bonus pro tip.
Oh,
I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time to restart your computer.
mm, but not
It
right now.
just
Not
is.
if you're listening to
Not
us
not if you're listening to the podcast via your computer,
or flying an
but
aircraft with your computer or something. But yes, I agree with you, Nate. Far too often, I connect with people that I work with, and they're like, "Oh, this thing has been a problem for a couple weeks," and I'm like, "When's the last time you restarted your computer?" Hmm. They restart their computer, problem goes away. And I'm
yes.
like, my work here is done. I'll take the rest of the day off. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I need to remember what it is on a Mac, but on Windows you can go into the tax manager? No, not the tax manager, the task manager,
It's
and click on the performance area. And at the
mm-hmm.
bottom of the CPU, it will tell you how long the computer's been running. So I'll connect in to support somebody and I'll open that up and I'm like, okay, that's seconds, hours, or seconds, minutes, hours, days. Okay, we're above 2 weeks. Let's restart the computer and then call me back if you're still having the problem.
Take 2 restarts and call me in the morning.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, it's also good to restart Dave's pro tip of the week.
And
And
so I
I'm not
think
getting. Oh, there it is.
the
We
sound
got our
effects
little
are
delay.
delayed for you for some reason. I
Nice.
think me and the rest of the world are getting them a couple seconds before you do. I don't know why that is. If I knew everything, then I'd be president of the world.
Oh,
So
and before you start, Dr. RIP VHS, boy, remember when we used to have to restart, but then hold the Apple Shift whatever to defrag it, and you would do all the different things, and oh, computers have gotten better.
they have, and like if you have an iPad, those things will run for like
Oh,
six
yeah.
months before they need restarted. They're very, very nice. So as we move into the fall, um,
Yes.
we're just a few weeks away from September, which is the beginning of the last quarter of the year. September, October, November, December. Yeah, that's correct. So the last quarter of the year. It's also when Apple releases new handheld products like iPhones
Yes.
and iPads, typically maybe an Apple Watch or something like that. Pardon me. So for
Getting a
those of
little emotional.
I am,
It's
or
that time of year, man.
or
It
maybe
just
it's a
it's
little bit
so
of this. Uh,
ooh.
so the one of the things that people like to do is trade in their old devices towards the purchase of a new one. And one of the things that, like your camera doesn't wear out, you can take a million pictures. Your screen is pretty good unless you drop it. Everything else about your phone tends to last a really long time, with the exception of your battery.
Yes.
After 1, 2, 3, even 4 years, the capacity of your battery will decrease. And when it gets so low, you might start uh, going through your day going, well, I used to be able to get through my day without charging my phone, and now when I'm driving home, it's dead or something like that. Um, don't forget our ABCs of anything, always be charging.
Always
But
be
a lot
charging.
of people don't have the luxury of that. They just want their device to run all day.
Yes.
I've got the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which is the larger, girth of phone. And so it had a really big battery to begin with. But I did notice that the capacity is a little bit lower. now than it was a couple years ago when I purchased it. So I challenge you at home, if you're wanting to get rid of your device, or if you've noticed that the battery just doesn't last as long, there's an easy way to get information about that. So you go to your settings, and when you're in your settings, you just scroll down a little bit. This is on iPhone, of course. You can find similar items in your Android. There's a battery option titled, wait for it, battery. And when you
Oh,
click that, you get some information. So I'm going to just hold mine up here for a moment to the screen, and let's just read it together. I do have my battery percentage indicator turned on so that it shows up in the
yes.
top there. I'm not in low power mode. I'm going to click this button here in a moment, but I can see when it was last charged, how things are going. It gives me all the statistics. My screen has been on for 8 hours of the day. It's been on a long time. Now, if I click this battery health and charging screen, I'm going to get some useful information here. So my capacity is 86%. It was 100% when I purchased it, but over the 2 years that I've owned it, 80% of the battery is all that I can use. That what 14%, 24, 14%? Help me, math wizard.
Wait, 80,
Four,
you're at 86?
86. So 14%
14%, yes.
of my battery is just gone. So however long, let's say it lasted 10 hours, it now will last 14% less than that on a full charge. So that's still pretty good, especially since my battery were larger. But if you have like a mini phone or just a regular size phone that's maybe 3 or 4 years old, it may be as low as like 60%. And that's getting kind of serious. So
Yes.
you may want to trade in your device if the battery is that low. And sometimes it can affect whether or not you are able to trade in devices. So be wary of that. But I also thought I would do an honorable mention for Mac laptops. You can
Mm.
also just go into your system settings on older devices, it's system preferences. But on newer ones, system settings, there is a battery item, and it's got all the charts, all the things that you saw on my phone, and there is a battery health. And I don't know why they chose to do this. There's a little circle with a little letter I in it for more info. And my condition is normal. The maximum capacity of my laptop battery, which was purchased January 2020, I think, is 83%. So
Wow.
it's not as good as it used to be. It's actually
Yes.
worse off than my phone, but it is a little bit older than my phone too.
Yes, I am on my Mac. I am at 86% to match your phone, and my laptop is newer than yours. And I
It
didn't
is.
put it in our stories today, but there has been just a Apple gate going around of the iPhone 14 Pros,
Mm-hmm.
and mine is down to 90% after less than a year. So,
That's crazy. Do you
yeah,
think it's
so
a software
there's
thing or just the battery is
yeah,
not
there were
good?
some people speculating that it is a software thing. I mean, it's doesn't last quite as long as it used to, but it doesn't. And I am running the beta, but a lot of people have been posting about this and talking about it. But I'm hoping it's just a software bug. But I will give a bonus pro tip. If you're on Mac, there is a free little application called Coconut. You'd think I was drinking champagne this
Easy for
week.
you to say.
Yes, called Coconut Battery. And so when you go there, and it even gives you it gives you the milliamp hours, and the design capacity, how many cycles. So my laptop has had 239 cycle counts, but it'll also, if you connect your iPhone via USB, it'll give you more information
Mm,
like the cycle counts, how many times you've charged it, and everything. So Coconut Battery, if you want to take it to the next step, but what Dave's mentioning, either if you can't get a new phone, get your battery replaced, or wait till next month and go get a brand new iPhone
yeah.
15.
Yeah, this is not a time to go buying new iPhones or Apple
No.
Watches or iPads. Well, maybe iPads, but yeah, the event's coming up, and they think it's going to be like September 12th or something like
Yeah,
that.
less than a month, Dave. Less
Yeah,
than a month. We'll be doing a special Apple event. I cannot wait to see what they have
yeah.
in store for that. Well, thank you very much for that
You are
uh,
welcome.
pro tip and our extension off of it. But it's time for everybody's favorite new segment, Just the Headlines.
Yes.
Let me clear my throat.
I will allow it.
FTX's Bankman-Fried headed for jail over alleged witness tampering. YouTube uses AI to summarize videos in latest test. Walmart is bringing ads to an aisle near you as retailers chase new
Ad
moneymakers.
blocker for Walmart.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
FCC fines robocaller a record 300 million with an M after blocking billions with a B of their scam
Should have been
calls.
double.
The Boring Company will dig a 68-mile tunnel network under Las Vegas.
Why?
And bots are better than humans at cracking "Are you a robot?" CAPTCHA tests, study
It
finds.
was inevitable. Yeah. Well, that's great. Thanks for reading just the headlines.
Okay, and on to our takes of the week. Elliot had actually sent me a reel talking about this via Instagram, um, but Zoom has clarified their terms of service after customer outcry. Uh, so there was, they had an updated terms of service, and within that, it basically said that they could use any customer content any way they wanted for
Ooh,
AI training.
wow. That's
Yes,
pretty bold.
yes. So they had to step back on that, and they have updated and they've made it clearer that it won't use customer conversations and other data to train its own or third-party AI systems.
This just
So
really bothers me when it's the Hulu problem. We want you
yes,
to subscribe by paying money, and we want to show you ads, or it's like cable,
yes,
pay lots of money to have this, and we're going to show you ads. Now, companies that offer a service like video conferencing are like, pay us 20, 30, $50 a month, and we're going to take all your data and make money off of it. It's just so egregious. It drives me
it,
crazy.
yes.
It's out of control.
It is crazy, and prices keep going up, and ads keep coming into more places. But this next one, I think maybe I mentioned because I had an experience with it a couple years ago, but BlueJeans,
Yes.
Verizon's Google Meet competitor you've never heard of, is shutting down.
We had a coworker that, oh, we need to use this. This is great. We love it. It's the best. And I'm just like, I am not using any service called Blue Jeans. I don't care how good it is. It's not long for this world. And guess what? I was right.
Yeah, yeah. It was for some training or onboarding or something that I was doing with some third party company, and they're like, "Here's your BlueJeans link," and I'm like, what? And I think they paid like $400 million
Who
for
are
this
these
software
people?
Verizon did, and then now they're just like, no, no, can't compete with Google Meet and Zoom.
How can I get someone to buy something that I own for 4 billion or million or whatever,
Uh,
and then they can just shut it down? I mean, I've got lots of stuff that's not worth anything.
yeah, yeah, exactly. We just need to create some vaporware and
Totally.
start
With big
promoting it. You got to be a slick salesman,
with
snake
the
oil salesman.
big promise, a
Yes,
little
yeah.
delivery.
So yeah, if you're a big fan of BlueJeans, the video conferencing app, you will not be able to use it. Let's see.
I got it. No, let's start a video conferencing app. It's just Zoom. We'll do a white label and we'll call it Shorts.
Shorts,
Short
jorts.
pants.
We'll
Short
call it
pants.
jorts.
Jorts.
Yes.
And
Uh,
then
s-
we'll sell it to T-Mobile for $4 million.
yeah, and if you're on the free tier, it will no be longer be available as of the end of this month.
Wow.
And then business customers, they will probably have a little bit longer.
I'll get a
So
coupon to go to Zoom or something for half price.
yeah, and Todd has an interesting question that we might have to do some research unless you know off the top of your head, but do it in a segment. But a look back at how Zoom took off over Skype during the pandemic would be interesting.
Oh, that's
Uh,
easy. There's one word answer to that. Microsoft.
yeah,
Microsoft systematically dismantled and ruined Skype, which they purchased years ago, until it was just a garbage app that's, I think, now just integrated to uh, meetings. No, what is their
meet,
Meet?
no,
No, that's
Teams.
Teams. Yeah, it's the infrastructure for their Teams now, and it's
Yes.
garbage. So
Yes,
anyway,
and a lot of people do use Teams. I mean, it's between Teams, Google Meet, and Zoom. I mean, beyond
yeah,
those three, you're going to be hard pressed, especially now with BlueJeans going away. That's
yeah.
sad.
Well, again, my opinion, but I feel like it's not that Zoom won, it's that Microsoft
Yeah,
failed hard, and
yeah,
so did Google. It took Google like 2 years to get
yeah,
anything that was even close to what
yeah.
Zoom had to offer. So they they lost. What was it? It's they Zoom didn't win, the other people lost.
Yes,
So there you go.
yes. Well, and I know like some podcasts they'll use Skype because there was a Skype call recorder, but I forget. Can you even record Google Meet meetings yet? Which is a very
Maybe,
important thing in Zoom. Like, just some of the tools that they built around it,
yeah,
they were able to implement some stuff that really made sense for more professional type use.
yeah, yep. Good
Well,
timing.
on to our next story from time.com, a little old website called Time.
I've heard of them.
China wants to limit children's smartphone use to combat addiction. Here's what to know.
Yes,
So in
I.
China, they're trying to pass a law, which in China, do they have to try to pass a law? Don't they just make laws?
They just tell people what to do.
Yes, but that they would be limiting down to like 2 hours. And now we've talked a little bit in the past about them doing some different limiting and how, TikTok's completely different in China and everything. But, um, oh, how here's the implementation challenges in the um, article. It says, how effective such a ban will be remains to be seen as the restriction could be bypassed by tech savvy users, a concern also present in other places in the world considering similar rules. Apps like TikTok have tried to regulate minors' time on the platform, but for many of its young users, these controls are easy to circumvent. So,
Until there's an incentive for the online social media networks to limit this, they won't.
yeah.
And since they mine your data, there's no incentive. So
Yes.
you should be able
Well,
to get around it.
if there is a place where they could figure out a way to do it, it would be China, because they can take a little more drastic measures than a piddly robocolor fine.
I
China
suppose.
can do that, but TikTok is kind of a big deal over there. So
Hmm.
I was listening, just a quick sidestep. Do we have a sound?
I hit it.
I was listening to somebody discuss, and I have uh, and I've mentioned it before, a deep fear of China and all the control they have. But somebody was talking about how they really, like economically and with their whole one child law and everything, they're not doing as great as they once were,
It
just because
depends if you ask them or not.
they don't have enough kids to do stuff or people to do stuff, and that's going to continue
Yeah.
now that. But now they're encouraging them to have children again. But yes, China, a fascinating world superpower.
Mm-hmm. Show
Uh,
title.
show title.
China, a fascinating world superpower.
Yeah, that'll get the kids coming in.
The SEO on that's wonderful.
Yes. Well, we do have a security and privacy story. There it is. And
Okay.
I didn't see a whole lot. Black Hat and DEF CON were this last week, the big
Mm-hmm.
conferences on all this security. There was a little bit of discussion on This Week in Tech. Like they're starting to do some AI hacking competitions and that kind of stuff. But this story that I did find, White House holds first ever summit on the ransomware crisis plaguing the nation's public schools.
Hmm.
So they had a cybersecurity summit. And we've reported on many of these school districts and schools and ransomware, all the ransomware attacks. But they really want to focus on trying to do more for education. And it says at least 48 districts have been hit by ransomware attacks this year, already three more than in all of 2022. So all but 10 had data stolen, the firm reported. Typically, Russian speaking foreign based gangs steal the data, sometimes including the social security numbers and financial data of district staff before activating network encrypting malware, then threaten to dump it online unless paid in cryptocurrency.
Hmm.
Oh,
Not
what a
good.
joy.
Not good.
Not good. So hopefully, the U.S. government can come to the rescue.
Hmm. Hey, before we move on to the next segment there, I wanted to
Yeah.
check in with my driveway cam. Uh,
Oh, yes, yes. We've got a new feature to
yeah,
compete with just the headlines. We've got the Dave Baylor Harvest Way driveway cam.
yeah. So
Harvester Lane, not Harvest
don't
Way.
give
I'm giving
everybody
away I'm doxing you
my
live
home
on the
address.
internet.
People are going to start showing up. So this is my oh, there's my one of my neighbors. You can see walking through the frame past the white pickup.
Yeah.
Looks to be maybe going to check the mail.
Oh,
That's
let's see if
interesting.
they got any packages.
Yeah, we'll keep
And
it on here for a moment to
while we
see.
wait to see that, we've got a couple more comments from
Okay.
Dr. RIP VHS. It says, to be fair, if you're firing those sounders off a Stream Deck, that's the reason for the delay. It always takes a bit of time for mine to launch too.
Hmm.
And then, in related to he says, LOL, now that crypto is worthless, that'll help the ransomware problem.
Yeah, they'll just ask for double,
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Oh man,
the thing about
skip
those
us. We're just going driveway cam. Let's do it. Just go live with your driveway cam during the week.
well, I was gonna say that the oh, here he comes back. It looks like he got something. And it's hot out there, man. Should have
Yeah,
waited a little while. It's 100 degrees out there now. It's gone down one
yeah.
degree.
Dave's invasion of privacy segment, watching his neighbors getting mail.
Yeah,
And
well, I mean,
Chelsea said, "Wow, this is exhilarating."
there's no, there's no expectation of privacy on a public street, so I can do what I want.
Yeah.
I was going to point out my little blue car there. You see it
Oh
parked in
yeah.
front of the
Yeah.
giant pickup that has no business being in our neighborhood. Um, uh, it's literally 30% wider than that blue car. Wider, not color
Yeah.
wise, but
It's
wider.
much whiter
Yes.
and much wider.
And I fixed the little blue car, and I'm now calling it the uh, what? How do I say? Diablo el Azul, Blue Devil. I don't know how
The
to
Blue
speak
Devil.
Spanish, so it's the Blue Devil now. So that little car, it actually is running pretty good now. So knock on wood.
Yeah, very nice. Well,
Anyway,
and I will say, speaking of naming things, I haven't even told Chelsea about this yet. When I was DJing down at the marathon, there was a bachelorette party, and a lady came up to me uh, and said, "Your mustache, what's its name? It's got to have a name, right?" And I
Golden
go,
Gate.
"I don't have one." She goes, "I'll come up with one for you." Now, she may or may not have been drinking throughout the evening. She comes up to me later and she goes, "I've got it. It's Berta," which happens to be, unbeknownst to her, my mother-in-law's name. So my
Hmm.
mustache now is named after my mother-in-law, in case anyone was wondering.
Now, is your mother-in-law, is that short for Roberta or is it just
Yes, it
Berta? Okay,
is.
Berta.
It is. Fine. Dave's creepy old man watching his unwitting neighbors, although that doesn't have as much of a ring, so to speak, to it.
Oh,
Oh,
nice pun.
yes.
It is a Wyze camera, by the way, not a
Wise.
Ring. I don't use
Yes.
Ring products because they send the footage directly to the police, which I do not agree with.
Yes, indeed. Well, after that riveting thing,
Segment.
I have got a great bonus odd take for us this week. Uh, Dave, you're gonna love this. Jared, anybody that's played video games of many varieties, This is the Digital Museum of Video Game Levels. So if you go there, there is a list of Wii games, GameCube, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2, Xbox, PC, experimental games. I think those are the ones he's working on. But if you pick a game, you can then pick any level that they have created from that game. So I'm going to go to Mario Kart Wii. Played a lot of that one. It gives you all the different levels. I'll go the first one, Luigi Circuit, and then it loads, and you close your selector there, and it is a 3D immersive rendering where you can explore every pixel of the level.
And you can spin it around. I tested this out because I was curious, and you
Yeah,
can even like look at this. I'm zooming way up into the crowd. I can go out of the frame. It's
you can go
amazing.
below the level. You can go up and look down. It is really
Crazy.
cool.
This is
I mean, the amount of time that was spent doing this, I
well,
have to imagine.
I think what they did is this is probably an engine running assets from the game, like a
Ah, that
special.
they pulled assets.
Yeah, and it's high res, so I'm assuming they're using like the Dolphin emulator, which has
Mm,
swaps for the textures. Like the original game did not have that high res of a texture. It's been up-resed. Um, so anyway, that's my guess. I've not done any research, but this is probably the actual assets from the game that they just loaded into this little player. So, but it's
yes, and that you
amazing.
can find that at noclip.website. And it is code is primarily written by Jasper, and it's open source at GitHub, and they have a Discord channel.
I'm going
You can
to,
hold shift to go faster and
okay.
use mouse wheel to fine tune the speed. Z toggles. Oh,
I'm
Z toggles the UI.
okay. I am going to go and rename every one of my websites to .website because why not? That's amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
So here,
Noclip.website.
what if I can do this? Oh boy, look at this.
Oh, you've.
It's the whole thing. I've zoomed way out. And see, they only put elements that are necessary for line of sight. And so these little pillar things, look, they're like, why are those there? Oh, I
Oh,
see
because
why
then you
they're
see it
there.
in the background.
Yeah, they're like
This is
background
a.
elements.
This has been our segment. The reasons why you should watch this on YouTube.
Yes.
For your audio pod, you could play along at home if you're on the audio podcast and go to
Mm-hmm.
noclip.website. But yeah, a visual. The clouds are moving. Man, it is.
Is
It is really cool. That's
I just wanted to have going in the background, like a Zoom background or
yeah.
something.
Oh, that would be cool. Record some video off there, and then you could just kind of
The clouds
do
going
it.
by. Yeah.
Fun stuff. The random odd takes that we find on the internet. But more importantly, uh-oh, where is it? I actually remember today, and it's missing after last week's episode.
Oh, I have the thing for you. You can say it
I
into the
know,
mic.
but my props,
Oh, I
my
see.
desk is a mess.
Oh boy, this is great radio right now. So I'm
Well, I'm
describing.
just
Oh,
gonna have to skip it
okay.
because it's time for our August repicks of the month for August month. Man, that really threw me off.
Wow. I
I
hope
am
that worked.
dismayed about where my toy microphone went.
Did Isla come in and steal it?
She might
Well, it's
have.
actually hers,
Oh,
I think, isn't it?
there it is. Phew.
Oh, you got it.
Got
Well,
put way over there.
for
So
next
it'll be
week.
back next week. Put it in a key spot there on my desk.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're doing our repicks, going back, looking through old picks of the week and resurfacing some stuff that you probably forgot about. So, Dave, what do you got?
Well, speaking of video games, I talked about on June 21st, 2021, so a couple years ago, on an episode 286 titled Broberry Shortcake. Man, we got so many good titles.
And we
Uh,
do.
this is OpenEmu, Open Emulator, and this is a Mac PC, Mac or PC emulator. You download it, you find some ROMs online that you borrow from a friend, and you play all these wonderful games. What's great about OpenEmu is that it is designed for the person who doesn't want to go to GitHub and download a bunch of code and do all this crazy stuff. You just download it. It's got a wonderful interface. You drag the ROMs on there. It pre-populates everything. You connect a controller to Bluetooth or plug it into USB, and it just works. So if you at home want to play old video games instead of just looking at their scenes, then OpenEmu is for you.
Nice.
And not to be outdone by my software pick, I also, on episode 278 on April 2021, A Delicious Nugget was the title. I picked the Wyze watch.
Yeah.
And you can still get the Wyze watch. It was 25 bucks then, now it's 33.99. And I still use mine occasionally because my Apple Watch, speaking of battery, this thing does not last a
Mm,
day. Uh, my Wyze watch lasts like 5 days on a charge. It's great. It doesn't do as much, but it does quite a bit.
yeah.
And you can now get it in
Yeah.
some weird and wonderful colors. So, anyway, still a good product today. And then my final pick that I picked on.
Yes, and we didn't
Oh,
explain that we will be doing each be doing a software pick, a hardware pick, and a other pick
hmm
during these weeks, just to cover some more of those
yeah, we only
great
have a
picks,
few
because there's
weeks and
so
we
many.
have hundreds of picks. So,
Yes, we do.
yeah. So, my other pick is Ted Lasso. Guess what?
Yeah,
I have still not watched season 3 of. Oh,
yeah. I
wait, what
think we
is it?
started it.
Ted Lasso. That's what.
Yeah,
It's been out for like, I don't know, several months. I still haven't watched
yeah.
the dumb thing. So I've got to watch season 3. No spoilers, please. I want to see what happens myself. And I don't know, this might be the last season. I don't know if they're going to do more, but here's my thought on this. If it makes some money, they probably make a
Yes,
more.
they keep a doing it, especially
uh,
now that they have the MLS rights to
yeah,
broadcast MLS games. Maybe Ted and the team will be coming to the U.S. to play some
that'd be
football.
cool. Yeah, the make them until they stop making money. Indiana Jones just called and said they would like to participate in that. Oh, yes, they have. So,
Yes.
anyway,
And
that's
did you
my.
say the show title that that one came from?
Oh,
272 All Year Belong or Base to Us?
all your belong. I think it's supposed to be all your base are belong to us, but for some reason
We
we titled
switched
it
it.
all your belong are base to us.
Yes,
That's
there was
from a.
some reason.
It's a
Some
porch.
reason over the years.
Yeah,
Our show titles, hopefully there's some reason for most of them.
yeah. That the original quote comes from a bad translation of a video game. All your
Yes,
base are
yes,
belong to
indeed.
us, and it's
Very
stuck.
nice.
Anyway, that's my deal. What you got, my guy?
Well, my software pick is FreshBooks, which is the
Hmm.
accounting software that I use for my business, and I think they have a free version. They have some cheap versions, but as my business has expanded and gotten more complicated, and I have more clients, I'm paying more money. But I don't know what I would do without this. And most of the reason why I use FreshBooks is because of my uh, despising of all things QuickBooks.
Yes.
And Intuit, it is just a cluster of a application, and I support many clients that use QuickBooks. But FreshBooks is just a great, pretty simple accounting software. I can do all my invoices, keep track of expenses, do all good time tracking, all that stuff. Have that lady's face.
Jessica
Uh,
McCormick. I'm
ah,
thinking that's a model. I don't know if that's really
yes.
Jessica, but anyway, there she
Yes,
is.
but I picked that on episode 247, Space, from
Mm,
September of 2020. And I've probably been using FreshBooks for 8 or 9 years now, and for my company, and I will never look back. There's some other ones out there, but man, FreshBooks, it works well for me.
yeah, nice. Very
And my
nice.
hardware pick, also from Wyze,
Mm-hmm.
is the Wyze thermostat,
Hold on a
which
second.
I have one on my desk because you know my desk. And the reason why I have one of these is when I was working on fixing my AC, This one had a loud popping sound and started
Hmm.
smelling real smoky.
Hmm.
You can still get a hint of the burnt electronics,
It's the magic
which was
smoke.
no fault of the Wyze. It was a fault of me trying to be an HVAC technician.
Hmm.
But I immediately just went and go purchased another one, Amazon overnight. What are they run now? About 80 bucks?
Yeah, 79.98, and you can get the little room sensors, a three pack, and the thermostat for 129.98. So there
Oh,
you go.
that's a nice little deal. And yeah, you had picked the room temperature sensor, which I have one of those downstairs. But I was able to wire it in myself much more successfully than fixing my AC last week, or the last week and took me a week to fix it. But yeah, the new one came. I just plugged it on, a couple quick steps on the app, and it was good to go. And we've been
Nice.
using it. So I picked that back in February of 21, and I think I picked it right after, or no, wrong. Yeah, February of 21 on episode 269, New Hedge. And it was right after I installed it. So the Wyze thermostat, Wyze, we love them. They've got some great products and two great ones that we picked today. And then my
Hmm.
other pick was from episode 248, Too Eager to Do Math.
Of course.
But this is a daily email that I get from Seth Godin, who is a marketing genius, but he does a blog and sends out a daily email with blog posts. And I don't know how many posts he has now. I don't know if he's got a Seth's top 100, but he's been doing his first entries here are in 2002.
Mm.
So
Wow,
you
that's going to be a
figure a couple
bunch.
hundred every year for the last 20 years. But the insights, just the little tips, the ideas, business ideas, marketing ideas, just general life. He does a lot of great things, and I enjoy getting those emails. They're one of those emails that come all the time that I will open every one. Like I'll save them if I don't have time and read it later.
Hmm.
I won't delete his emails because there's so much value there. So I figured I would repick that gem.
Yeah. What will you do with the time you save? Is his latest
Ah,
question.
yes.
Yeah. Seth, is that what he looks like? That guy in the corner?
Yeah, yeah, he's a skinny little guy, pretty bald, but yeah, I'm hoping to get to see him live at a marketing conference or something one day because he is one of those guys that just his insights into things. His looking at his Seth's top 100, the top one that shows up there is "Don't shave that yak," which is
I
the
will try
single
not
best
to.
term I've learned this year. So. Yak shaving is the last step of a series of steps that occurs when you find something you need to do. So I think it might be similar to boiling the frog. I'm going to leave that one up and go back
Hmm.
and read it. I won't read through it on the podcast. You'll have to track it down yourself at.
Are you
Ooh,
okay there?
there's a snake in the room. Seth's.blog, Seths.blog is where you find Seth Godin. But
Seth.blog
he's
must have
written
been
many
taken.
books. I'm not sure if Todd and I have talked about Seth before, but he's a knowledgeable guy. Oh, I've been missing some comments. Creepy LOL going back to Chelsea on the mustache name thing
Mm.
with her mother-in-law. And Todd was very impressed with the echo on the picks of the week,
Oh,
even though I
good.
wasn't holding my mic. Uh, and and this is true. Uh, Todd may or may not have borrowed just the headlines, spoiler alert, from our podcast, but
Hmm.
real time looking for props is a segment you stole from our show because he's
Totally.
often digging in his bag for his slide whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Your show headlines should win a Streamy Award or something. I agree. Yeah, we should be
Is that
in
a
the
real
Hall of
thing?
Fame for show titles.
Here's the thing. We need to make our own podcast award ceremony thing,
Oh, that's where we
and
make our
then
money.
we could nominate ourselves.
Yes, yes. Todd, I think has knows someone that has gotten into the award business. So
Mm.
we need to look into that. We could do because there are some podcast awards out there, but we need like a grassroots, maybe the Portland Podcast Awards.
Mm, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or what about tech podcasts that are the most um, nonpartisan
Yes, we would
in
win
the
that
world?
award every year. The most nonpartisan tech podcast on the
Yeah,
internet award.
yeah.
I think we would be in the running, nominated at least every year.
Hmm.
But yes, if anybody out there wants to help us create a podcast awards thingy, let's do it. And we'll do a live show, a live podcast every year to give away the awards.
Very fun. Yeah, we'll get double our listeners, so like six, I think.
Yes,
That'd be
yes,
amazing.
indeed.
I decided to
Well,
leave the cam on here while we kind of.
yeah, while we wrap up the show, and yeah, but during August, I mean, you're going to get 3 or 4 weeks of 6 picks of the week from us. So we're going to keep going back further and further into the depths to find some great picks, stuff that we're still using, stuff that we enjoy, that we want to remind you about, because I guarantee there are many picks in there that I've forgotten about, or just forgotten how much I use them because they just
Hmm.
become part of my tech world. And if you want to find any of the picks, where do you go? Notpicks.com. Head over there, check stuff out. Click links, shop Amazon, shop affiliate links, support the show so that we can get the podcast awards kicked off. And with that, and we say bid adieu to Dave's driveway, and we will let you all get out there and tech better.
Yes, indeed. Bye.
Bye.